Welcome to my channel, Uncut Africa Live, a channel that brings you insights of African politics. I'm always your guy, Digrat Amwakon, and today I'm here because we have a lot to talk about concerning Africans and Africans in diaspora. It has been a very sad event for some days now in Africa, especially between Nigerians and South Africans. A few weeks ago, there was another argument between uh, between African Americans or Black Americans and Africans concerning some African who tweeted that a certain guy tweeted that he's an American and he think he will vote for Trump, and that particular thing generated a whole lot of events, very bad tasteful event on Twitter, which now is called X. But recently, for a few days now, Ghana, South Africa, and Nigeria has been having a very distasteful event that needs to be addressed. I have been waiting for some time now. I haven't been coming to online, so it has been a very difficult time. My machine was facing some technical difficulties, but I decided to make sure I come and add something to this particular issue because the manner South Africans and Nigeria as one Africa, we have been fighting for the unity of Africa. We have been fighting for the well-being of how Africa can develop. The unity, the Pan-African spirit. We have been fighting for Pan-African spirit, but the manner Nigerians and South Africa is going at each other on Twitter or X is very distasteful concerning a beauty pageant that was to take place in South Africa. And this beauty pageant race, a certain girl called Chidima, who is half Nigerian and half South African, decided to enter into this beautiful beauty pageant, and somewhere along the line, there has been a bad blood between Nigeria and South Africa for some time now, because some of the South Africans think Nigerians come to their country. Nigerians comes to their country to do drugs, to take their jobs, and now most of the South Africans are sitting at home doing nothing because their jobs has been taken by Nigerians and Zimbabweans and Ghanaians. This accusation has been there for a very long time, and this is causing a whole lot of bad blood between Nigeria and South Africa. And those who know the history between all this brouhaha, sometimes it generates xenophobic attack, and it has happened several times where the South Africans will say we have had enough and it's about time we do something about it. And woe betides you when they try to react to this incident, it becomes bloody in South Africa, and it has become bloody this time around. Just that this time there was no attacks, but the attacks has been going on Twitter. And most of the times, African countries sometimes banter each other, but this particular banter is two Africans whom you see they hate each other. Two Africans whom do you see they hate each other. I don't understand why Black South Africans and Nigerians are always in the throat of each other, and this is not friendly. This is not friendly something. This is not something friendly like Ghana, Nigeria fighting about jollof or fighting about football rivalry. This is hateful stuff that one country is telling another country, and that is why I'm asking, why do we hate each other so much? we can see what happens in UK. When we go out there, normally the people don't differentiate between a Ghanaian or a Nigerian. When we go out there, most of Western countries, when it comes to attack, they don't just attack a Nigerian or a South African. When we go out there, they attack people who have the same complexion like mine. Look at what is happening in UK. When the attacks came, when they are coming to attack you, they won't ask you exactly you are described as a Muslim, you are going to be attacked. Exactly you are described as an African, you are going to be attacked. So we have been preaching that why can't Africa comes together? Why can't Africans come together and move together, do everything together? The funny thing is, South Africa, through this conversation, South Africa started appealing for the authorities to take out this lady out of the beauty pageant, who is a Nigerian, who is half Nigerian. They appealed to the authorities to take her out from the beauty pageant. And what happens was, later, the authority came out that the lady's mother somewhere along did illegal stuffs to register to register her daughter to be a citizen of South Africa. They find out that there was some illegalities that happens in the case document. But what bothered me is the South Africans started accusing the lady, the young lady who is Chidima, that they don't want her to be part of the beauty pageant, way before they found out that she was not even her mother did something illegal. So it was not about even the illegality. The South Africans voiced out their hatred for the lady because she was a Nigerian. And woe betide you. What happens yesterday was, after all this, the lady stepped out from the beauty pageant. And the sad thing is, the person who won the beauty pageant was not even a black South African. She was a white South African. So they decided to make sure the black South African Nigerian dropped out for them to then go ahead to vote for the white South African. That is the sad aspect that is raising a whole lot of questions on Twitter and all other platforms. It seems I don't know what is happening, but recently I've been hearing other YouTubers and other social media platforms controllers complaining that it seems South Africans don't like other African countries. South Africans don't like other African countries. Though I want to go deep. I wish any South African can put up what exactly does Nigerians do in South Africa when they comes there, because it seems many African countries are started accusing South Africans that South Africans don't like other African countries. Ghanaians has been complaining about the manner South Africans treat other African countries when they travel to South Africa. Zimbabweans has been complaining that the manner South Africans treat them when they travel to their country is very bad. So most of the times, it seems the efforts Africans made for them to fight the apartheid has been gone to the drain, because it seems now the South Africans are now chasing black Africans out of their country. But here we are, where the white South Africans are the one controlling the country. The white South Africans control like 80% to 90% resources of this country. And what these people are not angry enough to fight them, but they are angry enough to fight other African countries that comes there to work. I know a lot of Nigerians, we have a lot of bad blood in Nigeria, in Nigeria, because Nigerians, sometimes we have a lot of bad blood. They are not easygoing people. Most of the times, most of them do illegalities. In Ghana, when they comes, they do sort of illegalities. But what? Let me answer this. Why do you guys say black and Africans, the same thing? Okay. Slim slogan. Okay, thanks for the correction. Africans are the same because of recently there have been some discussion about people thinking we should not call them African Americans, we should call them what do we call it? Black Americans. So that says has really catch up with me. But let's say the Africans. But most of the times we want to differentiate also between the white South Africans and the black South Africans. Like we want to differentiate, but I don't know the correct word to use to differentiate ourselves. But what I can only use the I don't know, the indigenous South Africans. Let me use that word. The indigenous South African. The indigenous South Africans are not fighting the whites. They are now fighting the blacks. And that is something that has started bothering anyone who believes in Pan-Africanism. Anyone who believes in Pan-Africanism. It has been a very tough few weeks if you are into Pan-Africanism. If you want to, you are wishing one day Africa unite. I realized most South Africans don't even want African unity. Most South Africans don't really want African unity because it's a very sad story what has happened within the few days. They were able to throw this lady for him to withdraw, for her to withdraw from this beauty pageant. And the sad part is now they voted for an European South African to win this beauty pageant. And when you question them, they said, yeah, they preferred her as a citizen than prefer an African from another African country. That is what has really. I haven't been live for almost a year, but this particular issue has really shocked me, and I have read most of the banter that is happening on X. It's very hurtful, and I ask myself, why are we always fighting among ourselves? There is one man who has also wrote something, human bed. Really saddened how much this is going on in our culture. In the state, it's black on black crimes. Instead of being proud of the of another goals and closer because of our separation from the past. Yeah, Mr. Human Bed, that's very true. I see Africans, blacks on blacks fighting each other than to fight our slaves. Now we fight among each other instead of fighting our slaves. Our how do we call it? Our I won't say slave masters. Our colonial, those who came to colonize us. Instead of us fighting them, we are rather fighting among ourselves. And it's very sad. In Africa is worse. Africa, we are really we are really going through, because the manner Africans, when even it comes to tribalism, you can find an Asante fighting an Ewe. You can find an Yoruba fighting an Igbo. We're supposed to be coming together. In Africa, if we come together, do you know things we can achieve? These people don't have any idea what we can achieve if we come together. Imagine the resources Congo have. Imagine the resources Ghana have. Imagine the resources Nigeria have. Imagine the resources South Africa have. If we are coming together and goes to the world market as one entity, do you know how we can control the world economy? Because Africa have the resources, both natural resources, human resources, all the type of resources we have in Africa. When it comes to landscape, it comes to farmlands, we have a whole lot. But here we have divided ourselves. We have divided ourselves, and we are always fighting among each other. And it's a very bad precedent. It's a very bad precedent because we are killing our dreams. We are killing ourselves. We are killing ourselves because we have been this way for a very long time. We have been going through this for a very long time. Ghana goes to the world market separately. Ivory Coast goes to the world market with cocoa separately, and most of the times the Western countries use this as into their advantage, because when you take cocoa and you go as a separate country, Ivory Coast go as a separate country, they find a way of pinning us down, because most of the times they can even tell you that the way you fermented your cocoa is not right, so we can't buy it. Thank you, Mr. Hummingbird, for the gift. I really appreciate it. Thank you. A whole lot of things are happening in Africa, and we are trying to change these narratives. We are trying to liberate our minds from all this slave mentality, but still, people don't really understand it. People don't really understand it because a lot are happening in Africa that I don't know is because of the colonizers' idea, the colonial legacy. The colonial legacy has really enslaved us. Many people are not really getting what is happening around the world. It's about time we come together. Arita Cooks. Hi, Mr. DeGraft. I really like your content. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you, Madam Arita. I really appreciate you. Colonial legacy has really left a whole lot of things that are really going against us. Now, there has been also another thing that is happening in Africa that is very sad. Currently, majority of Africans think the only place they can survive is Europe. The only place they can survive is in America. So most of the times, they will sell their houses and move to America. They are selling their houses to move to Europe. They are selling their houses to go and cross this Mediterranean. They walk through desert to travel to Europe. And they go there just to do mania jobs. They go there to do mania jobs. And these mania jobs they are doing, if they were to settle business in Africa here, they should have achieved a lot. But at the end of the day, they go there and go and clean floors. They go and do this, they go and do that. And the sad thing is, when they get there, they start mouthing Africa as a continent. They will start talking trash. They will start talking trash about their country. They will start giving their leaders some bad names. They will start giving their country bad press. And now there's TikTok, there's Instagram. So anytime they goes to Europe, they start talking down on Africa. And this trend has started crumbling on us, because at the end of the day, your home is your home. Me, I don't believe that I can only make it in Europe. I only believe that I can make it wherever I am through hard work, through consistency. I can achieve a whole lot in this country. Like I'm in Ghana, and through that I can achieve a lot. Mr. Slogan, and the Europeans fly right on over and buy their land. That's the truth. Thank you, Mr. Slim Slugger. That is the truth. Most of let me tell you something. After Ghana started all this year of return, and some of the black African Americans, and let's say black Americans, started coming to Ghana, what has happened was most of them came to Africa, and their expectation was not met. So most of them decided to go back, and they go back to US and all that stuff. And what I found out that it's not like not going to attack maybe African Americans. When I realized this, these Europeans has come to Ghana, they find the potholes in our system, they find our challenges, and they start addressing it. They find our challenges, they realize, okay, in Ghana, they are not manufacturing even matches. We can't manufacture matches. They will come and set up a company and start manufacturing these matches. And they are going to make huge amount of money within few years through these companies. But when our brothers come, instead of them also finding potholes or finding issues, the problems in our system, for them to start investing in that problems and solve through investment, they will take phone, go on TikTok and go and complain. They will go and complain about how our system is poor. They have regretted coming to Africa. They have regretted, and they will go back. They will just leave. But finding a system like Ghana, you can achieve a lot because we have a lot of problems. We have a lot of problems that hasn't been addressed. And if you are able to find solutions to these problems, you are going to be a rich man. If you were able to find solutions to all these petty problems, when you comes to Ghana, you are going to find out that maybe we don't have steady electricity 24 hours. When you go to Nigeria, they are facing the same problem. When you go to South Africa, we are facing the same problem. So if you come to a system like this and you realize, okay, this is electricity problem is what is really bothering them. Okay, why don't I go and look for investors to come and do solar energy, this, for us to supply electricity so that we can make life better and also use it as a way of business to make money out of this country. But the people who are supposed to help us will rather take phone and talk bad about these countries, and the whites will come here, the Western countries, the Europeans, they come here, buy our lands, do farming, buy our lands, do investments. Now come to Accra. Most of the restaurants, the biggest restaurants, are being owned by Lebanese, Pakistanis, Indians. All our biggest restaurants are being owned by our people. Whilst we are running away to their country, they are find opportunities that they can invest here, and they are addressing these particular issues, and they are making huge money. And at the end of the day, when they set up all these companies and they make money, they change it into dollars and send it back to their countries. That is why our currencies, our local currencies, are always downgrading. We can solve all these problems, but we are so blind, we don't see what is happening. We think we can only make it in Europe by going to sit on an old person, or going to clean the backside of an old person. That is what we think, but that is not how it's supposed to be. It's about time we realize that only Africans can solve African problems. Return to Mr. Return to the cradle of life. It's true. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's true. Thank you. There are a lot of things that Africans can do to change things around, but we have given up. We are running away to these European countries. Recently, just see what happens in UK, and it is not going to end. It's going. I'm even scared that may also happen in US after the elections. Sorry, after the elections, that same situation can happen. And if you are an African who is in Europe, if you are an African, they sack you. You are coming back home. Let us build this continent, because this continent is the future. We have not lapsed our opportunities. We have a whole lot of things to build. We have roads to build. It's an opportunity. We have electricity problems to fix. It's an opportunity. We need industries. We need industries, refined industries, to refine our gold. We need industries to refine our oil. We have everything that we can achieve. But we think all these things can be done unless we travel. We think all these things can be done unless we go to Europe. It's about time we solve our own issues. So instead of us fighting among ourselves, Nigerians fighting South Africans, Ghanaians fighting Nigeria, why can't we come together economically? Let's come together. Let's come together first. Let's come together economically. Why can't we find a way to link all the African countries together? It's about time we link Ghana and Togo through railways. It's about time we link Ghana and Ivory Coast through railways. We have to link ourselves together to start doing business. But traveling from Ghana to Ivory Coast is more difficult than traveling from Ghana to UK. Traveling from Ghana to America is more easier than traveling from Ghana to Kenya. It's a very sad story. We are doing our own, and if this is the time, because the wake-up call is now. The wake-up call is now. Majority, we are now awake. So instead of us doing better things, we shouldn't just be talking, and everything goes up. The problem is, all this our government systems is being controlled by IMF, is being controlled by World Bank. Our political system is being controlled. So it's about time the youth of these countries come together to decide who run the country. And that is what Kenyans were able to achieve through this small protest they did. They were able to achieve a lot through this small protest. They were able to force politicians to do the right thing. So why can't we do the same thing across Africa? Because I have been saying that the democratic system we are practicing in Africa is not favorable. The democratic system we are practicing in Africa only allow rich, corrupt people to rule the countries. The democratic systems we are practicing in our countries are allowing corrupt leaders, because at the end of the day, when they are in opposition, they are being sponsored by all these Western corporate companies or Western corporations. They are being sponsored by all these Western corporations. So when they come to power, they are not in control. They are just there to be manipulated. They are just puppets. So African leaders are always in power, but they are not the one in control. IMF has been taking over most of African countries, and they will fill you with debt. And after they have filled you with debt, they start dictating your policies. For like 3 years now, Ghana government can't even employ graduates in the public institutions because IMF says so. For some years now, graduate has completed school and they are still in the house doing nothing because IMF has decided for the government not to employ any graduate in the public institutions. Somebody said a lot of black are considering and investing in other countries because the process to relocate there is easier. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is why, for now, we were supposed to put our house in order. Because in Ghana, when it comes to Ghana, the hospitality is great. The peaceful atmosphere is great. The same thing when you go to Kenya, the same thing. When you go to Tanzania, the same thing. When you go to most of these African countries, the hospitality, the peaceful atmosphere is great. But the system that has been put in place will somehow frustrate you. And that is why when these people comes, our brothers from diaspora comes, they can't even survive. But what I will tell them is, if you are able to adore all these problems and you are able to settle down in one of these African countries, you are going to enjoy it more than in Europe there. That place, they have already put things in place. So the opportunity there is big. But if you are an entrepreneur and you want to achieve something, I think Africa is the perfect place. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to create something from scratch, Africa is the best place. Return to the cradle of life. Like you said, Africa is the future. We need new leaders with an African-centered higher consciousness. That's true. We need new leaders. We need people with the brains. We need people, not even people with the brain. We need patriotics. We need people who won't betray the citizens when they climb the seat of power. That's the challenges we are facing now. We are facing challenge of people that betray us after we have voted them to power. That has been very sad situation because at the end of the day, we do all these things and they lie to us. They tell us what they want to do. They tell us what they want to achieve. And these people will come on in power with nothing. But within 4 years, you will see them driving big cars. You see them building mansions for their girlfriends. You see them. That is the problem. So all these leaders, that the governance systems we are practicing allow corruption, and that is what I wish we can do away with. But the power that backed these systems, it is going to be difficult unless we go the Burkina Faso way, where Ibrahim Traore has taken over and controlling things. Unless we go the Niger way, where they have also taken the same path. It's about time all these puppets in Africa, we start removing them, because these puppets are old. These puppets are old and they have nothing to offer. They still think we are in the I think some centuries back. They still think we are still in the archaic centuries, where they comes to power, steal our resources, build machines for them, themselves and family. Now people are become wise. Yeah, Mr. Slim slogan. But yeah, I'll have to have coup. That is something which can help. That is something which can help. But for now, we that things needs to be discussed, because it's very necessary, because like right now, December Ghana is going to do an election. December Ghana will be on the post. electing the new leader. And we are just circulating to, we are just changing two leaders from NDC to NPP the next 8 years. It's just they are the one who have the money to be able to convince people to vote for them. But I wish we can do away with these two parties. I wish we can have a patriotic someone who can take these parties out from the system. Because with the resources Ghana have, resources Nigeria have, resources, what do we call it, South Africans has, we can do a lot. But at the end of the day, here we are, people insulting Africa that we are poor. We are third world country. A country like Ghana with only not more than 40 million population, but at the end of the day, with all these resources we still go ahead and borrow money from IMF, borrow money from World Bank, borrow money, petty monies. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. It's very necessary that we do something about this situation, because we cannot just be talking always. We cannot just be talking always. So Africa, let's come together. Africa, the fight is too much. The division is too much. Our brothers in diaspora are ready to support. Our brothers in diaspora are ready to support if we are able to put our house in order. If you're able to put our house in order, the investment that will come to Africa will be massive. Because all these diasporans, our brothers in diaspora, they travel to Santorini, they travel to all these vacation countries to go and spend their vacation, where Africa have better things to showcase when it comes to tourism than all these countries. But because of how we haven't put our house together, it has made us look like a continent which is not serious. Look at the resources the DRC have, but look at them. It's always fights. It's about time, Africa, we wake up. Instead of the division, let's come together. Let's come together. Economically, let's work together. Let's partner ourselves. Let's make sure every money stay in the money. The import is too much. Food import is too much. All these junky foods we import in this country is too much. Mr. So, yes, I'm in America and ready to mobilize Africa. That is true. You can, anyone who is ready for change can contact me on UncutAfricaLive@gmail.com. UncutAfricaLive@gmail.com. You can see my email in the description box. I have started organizing, mobilizing people on Telegram. So if you go to some of my videos and you click on the description, you can see my Telegram link. You can join me there. But if you also want direct talk, you can contact me on my email. Even my number is there. Those who are ready for change, those who are ready for, we are not going to do any, but wait, we share ideas. We share ideas how we can do things, we can bring change. You know, some of us, we have people who are leaders, we have people who are followers. Some of us are ready to take a path that will benefit everybody. We are ready to take a path that won't leave anyone behind. It's about time we take great decisions. It's about time we make the change that our forefathers fought for. We have been talking for far too long. It's about time we start mobilizing ourselves and bring the change we have been yearning for. Africa is a beautiful continent. We don't have to be always be insulted in other countries that we are lazy people. We have destroyed our continent and now running away to Europe. It's about time we bring the change we have been yearning for. It's about time. So please, if you want to join me for us to do, mobilize ourselves, for us to share ideas, for us to talk about important things, you can go to my description and you see my email and my number. We can form alliance to do big things. And those who also have been supporting me financially, I have people like Mr. Jeffrey, a lot of them, I can't mention them, who has been supporting me financially through what do you call it? Buy me coffee. Buy me coffee. I really appreciate you. All of you who have been watching for me to also get all these views. I also appreciate all of you. From now on, I will be coming live almost every day. I'll be coming live almost every day because it's about time we bring the change we have been yearning for. The talking is too much. It's about time we mobilize and do big things. So I'll be here again tomorrow evening. Those who are able to watch, return to the cradle of life, Mr. Slim Slugger, there are more, Mr. W, and Human Bed, the one who also gave me super thanks. I do appreciate all of you. And I'll be here again tomorrow. I'll be coming live every evening for us to discuss about different topics. I do appreciate you. Cook with Regina. We really appreciate. Yeah, I really appreciate you too. So those who are able to watch and still watching, I appreciate you. I'll be here tomorrow. I hope you can join me for us to talk about the well-being of Africa and Africans in diaspora. I'll be back tomorrow. So thanks for watching. I'm always your guy, Digraft Amoakon. I salute you all. Bye.